this game. And right off the bat, we see Detrucci bringing Mage and Encore bringing Hunter. So, two classes in Hearthstone. Kind of hard to... So we're going to see Detrucci with the Tempo Mage right off the bat. The Unstable Portal, the Mirror Entity is pretty typical. And it looks like Encore is actually bringing a pretty heavy mid-range mid-range Hunter. The Hunter's Mark and the Houndmaster, and actually the Web Spinner. All of those cards really indicate that. What's interesting here is the mid-range Paladin list, mid-range Hunter list usually only play one drop, which is the Web Spinner, so it's really big to hit that turn as a mid-range Hunter, and he better savor it because that's about it for a couple next turns. Detrucci's going to play the Unstable Portal.
Trogzor.
Wow, that is a Trogzor.
I love Trogzor.
It's
this is Detrucci, so good for him, because 2 months in, I don't know if I had a legendary.
So, say this. Here's a Trogzor against a hand of 5 spells and 1 minion. So,
it's a good time to be him.
An absolute champion. And the question here is, do you play
that top deck?
Flamewaker. I actually think the Flamewaker, I would probably just play the counterspell and protect it. The Flamewaker is vulnerable to the and Detrucci, wow, I'm impressed. That's not a very obvious
sharp guy. I would not have done that.
Yeah, that's not an obvious play at all, and it protects him. It basically
against the Hunter's Mark that he has. Yep.
Well, he's also playing around like a bow or something like that. And that was a really heads-up play by Detrucci, and it's going to pay off in spades. So the coin into Houndmaster seems to be the obvious play. The coin is going to get counterspelled, and then Encore is going to be sad, which is exactly what happens. And now he has absolutely no play. Throwing out the freezing trap is a little dangerous, because there's some really small minions, such as worms, that you don't want frozen. And so Encore elects with the hero power. And now Detrucci can kind of get the Flamewaker out and Arcane Missiles safely. And that's really big. That's really, really big. He's got the Frostbolt to kill a Shredder, which he may think is coming because of the coin play. But yeah, so now Detrucci has... Pardon?
Jungle Panther's not a bad pickup off the Web Spinner.
It really isn't. The Freezing Trap is an interesting play here. Encore playing the mid-range game, which is a slow game, so I appreciate that, but Detrucci has a couple options here, and there's the Mana Worm. That's a huge pickup, actually. That is going to be
put the Spell Stopper between them.
Really big pickup.
And is he going to hold back, or do you think he's going to take a swing?
Oh, I think he's going to hold back. I believe in Detrucci. The man is... Oh, man, I'm very impressed with this play. Yeah, that is patience, and that is going to really pay off, because he can get that Mana Worm thrown in, and that's the best card in the deck to get frozen. And that's why I was actually warning against just throwing out the Naked Freezing Trap, because he could get punished by this play. Now, Encore does have many, many options here. Animal Companion was actually a really good pickup. I also think Loatheb is a viable option. Loatheb's just way more powerful than the minions on board, so they would have a tough time answering him. I think Loatheb probably would be my play, but I wonder if Encore is just starting to feel a little nervous about his life total. Unleash into, I guess, Hunter's Mark. Wait, he can only Hunter's Mark the Spell Stopper.
Right.
Oh, and he just
might only be realizing that. Yeah.
Just realized this. And now he's got to go face. There's no doubt about this. He's got to go face.
No, he's sticking to it.
Oh my gosh, that Spell Stopper, Unstable Portal, absolutely brutal.
Stopping spells.
So Detrucci, oh my gosh, the Kazan.
Wow. No way.
Oh. That's my boy.
Wow.
Alright, I'm gonna need you to mute your mic there, Captain Jedi. That is a huge pickup, obviously, and it works perfectly on curve to ping off one of these 1/1s, and Detrucci
I don't know about that. I don't know about all that, because now he can just trigger he knows it's a freezing trap.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
I definitely would have traded that.
Definitely would have traded that.
Guys, he's literally this is.
Hey, if you play like a pro, we're gonna comment like a pro.
All right. Well, it was a slight misplay to leave up the Hound, but at this point, he doesn't care. He's got full board control, and I think he might be realizing this right now that he's giving it. Also, I think he might be excited just to throw down the Trogzor with full board control next
That's
turn.
always exciting.
It's very exciting. And Encore is just very... I mean, his hand is so clogged. So he's going to kill... Oh, he's going to be... Okay. Calm Master. Which is fair. He's going to start to contest the board a little bit here. But I think at this point, if you're Detrucci, you just clean this up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready for some Trogzor.
Oh, I think we're all ready for some Trogzor. I mean, a hunter isn't going to be able to clear Trogzor without, like...
Spells. Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to happen. And these kill commands, I mean, there's so many spells in this hand. So we're all excited for it, but I don't know. Detrucci might be a little hesitant. Nope.
There it is. Yeah.
He's a champion. There goes the Trogzor. And Encore is like, what am I playing against right now? And
interesting. He just leaves the board up.
Leaving the board up, yeah, this might give Encore a chance to rebound, but it'll be tough. Actually, he left all the...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Still Trogzor.
Oh, no.
No.
No!
It's funny because a lot of people view that as a minion, not a spell. But it's actually a spell. And Trogzor is doing what we all imagined he would be doing prior to GBG's release. And that is utterly... Yeah. Man, when that card was released, I was like, ugh. Alright, so Encore with a little bit of an awkward...
Encore's close to having enough damage, though.
And maybe that's what he's thinking about. Well, Detrucci, I think...
So did the... Just to be clear, the Trogdor did summon something, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Not on mine.
Spectator glitch.
Yep.
Yeah, everything else is totally fine.
So, Encore almost, as Richard was pointed out, almost able to actually really... Oh, wow. Wow. So, really interesting line of play from Encore. He kind of diffuses the lethal from Detrucci and poses easy next turn lethal on his end. So, really high-level play by Encore. I mean, Detrucci played this extremely well. Encore, I must put my hat off. He didn't get caught in a defensive stance and decided to put Detrucci on the defense. And now Detrucci is definitely reeling. I like the Azure Drake. See what you draw and then throw the Mirror Entity up to get some pings from your Flamebreaker. Unstable Portal actually is probably slightly better there. The one ping on the 1/1 is nice. And now... The question is, does Encore just have lethal? He has to trade without a doubt, and he knows that. He trades, and he now... Okay, so Encore, I think, has just very easy lethal. Yeah, he does. He has 9 damage in just spells. Alright, so that is game 1 goes to Encore, and that is really, really incredible. Really well played by both players. I think Detrucci, I was very, very impressed by both players. Encore, I think that last turn was actually, you know, a really, really heads-up play by Encore to realize that Detrucci's health has been dwindling all game, and he could potentially put him into next turn lethal. So Encore able to...
Yeah, I think Detrucci had full control, but then sort of forfeited it and got a little greedy and went face, and then Encore was able to rally off that.
And that's really that's what Space Hunter, that's what mid range is able to do. And I think I agree. I think that the Tempo Mage opened up so incredibly well. Encore made the slight misplay with the Hunter's Mark, and Detrucci was able to run wild with it, and he made a great point. He overreached a little bit, and Encore made a really, really astute observation and realized he could next turn lethal, and kind of did that hybrid play where he staved off lethal while posing his own lethal. So great play by both players, very impressed. And that's game 1. So the Hunter right now I think is undefeated, by the way. The only time Hunter's lost... No, Hunter lost to
Patron.
It lost to Patron, right? So taking one loss to Patron, and then it lost in the mirror. Obviously, it'd have to lose. But Hunter is definitely performing very well. So Detrucci can bring back the mage. He also has Warlock and Paladin. And Encore can move on into Warlock or Mage. So those are the lineups. A lot of mage. I like this. All right, so 2 mages, and right off the bat we see Freeze Mage from Encore, and of course the Tempo Mage from Detrucci. Now, this is extremely interesting because I would say the Freeze Mage is favored very slightly. I would say 55-45. It obviously really depends on the openers from the Tempo. Like if Tempo just gets crazy openers, it's pretty much one of the most unstoppable decks. Now, that being said, Detrucci has a Trogzor, which is basically the most terrifying card ever for Freeze Mage. So, not only does he have the Trogzor, he has the Kazan Mystic. So, if I'm Detrucci here, I don't keep the Trogzor, even though it's tempting. I definitely keep the Kazan Mystic, and I would keep the Unstable Portal and get rid of Arcane Missiles. Encore already mulliganed, and he kept the Arcane Intellect, which is the correct. So this will be really interesting. To preface him, I love Freeze Mage. I'm excited to see some play. Detrucci with a very good starting hand. Encore with also, I would say, a very good starting hand as well. So this will be really, really, really great play here. So we see the Mana Worm come down, and both players immediately picking up their Antonidas. Encore goes to the ping, and that ping should tell Detrucci that he's probably playing a Freeze Mage or some slower mage variation. The Unstable Portal is going to definitely see play here. This is a really big moment, and it's
What? Oh, I've never seen that before.
I actually have. I've actually done this. I got that once. But that is enormous. That is pretty much the game. There's just almost no way for this to.
Turn 4 Antonidas. So next turn he can Antonidas
turn to
coin
Antonidas
mirror.
Oh my god.
Now
what?
I want to point out something. He just may have potentially lost the game. By doing that. That mirror entity is the one way Encore could have gotten out.
Absolutely.
So that mirror entity is going to allow him to play a Doomsayer, which can destroy this Antonidas. Now,
Still going to get 2 fireballs out of it.
But it's not going to be as catastrophic. Without the mirror entity, it would be over.
So Encore is just really unhappy right now. So you gotta drop the Doomsayer, and you just gotta believe. It's a once the Doomsayer, once you see that secret's up, you just hope it's not counterspell. I mean, you just have no choice at this point. You just gotta drop that Doomsayer and then play. I don't know how many cards he has. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, he has a lot of cards, so he actually can't really Arcane Intellect. I don't think it's hard to count upside down.
He's not full. He could do it.
Oh no.
No, I don't think he's.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think he actually was playing around it. I just don't think he. Yeah.
And that's gonna hurt. Yeah, and this is
real fast.
This is game. I mean, it's impossible to come back from. We'll see the Frostbolt come down, but I mean that's enough, obviously enough damage, and there's the Kazan Mystic. So, wow, and that's pretty much why Unstable Portal is just incredible.
Unstable Portal's so dumb.
It's a card. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
On ladder play, I'm sure on the aggregate, it's a fine card and it doesn't make the mage win too much or anything, but its potential to just completely upset an important game.
Right. And now, I mean, if I'm Encore, I'm so sad. Just
absolutely.
So sad. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you get here, because he's got the 2 fireballs.
What to do?
If I'm Detrucci here, you just don't. You just don't attack here. And you have guaranteed next turn. Oh, he attacked. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I mean, this game is just, yeah, it's so rough. All right, so Encore's sitting at 5 health. He's gonna heal bot up to 13. 7 plus 6. Oh no, that's easy to the game. 12 plus 7. Yeah, that's just crazy. Crazy amount of damage. So that's just things, yeah. Unstable Portal ended it. Encore had a chance to sort of stabilize, and I don't think he may have just not considered the Doomsayer play. It isn't the most obvious interaction that the Doomsayer is going to actually explode on their turn. He might have thought that, I don't know. But
right.
It's definitely not the most obvious play, and this is going to be a very quick game from Detrucci. So Detrucci getting his revenge with his Kappa mage, and more importantly, he learns that it's a freeze mage, which is not the most popular of brings.
Unfortunately, Detrucci doesn't really have a warrior.
Right. Well, the paladin is actually, in my opinion, as a freeze mage player, is the easiest win, unless it's Jedi Ninja bringing a paladin with something like 60 heals just to frustrate his teammate. Anyway, which he's done. I like, that was ridiculous. I think you had a paladin with, what was it, 43 or 50 healing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, unless it's that paladin, I think Detrucci's going to be in for a tough time. It's just, the paladin is just so dependent on board. And we saw actually 2 explosive sheeps, which are not common in the freeze mage deck list these days. Actually, I don't run any, but it's extremely strong against paladin. And
absolutely.
If that warlock is
Zoo,
it'll be extremely strong against Zoo. So both could be very tough for Detrucci. So he brings the paladin. And Encore, wow. Encore switches from freeze mage. That's really surprising to me. Really surprising to me. And now the paladin is probably, I mean, we saw paladin dominate a Zoo earlier. And I think it looks...
Didn't the paladin get dominated by Zoo?
Or was I
have his consecrate?
Have we seen 2 paladin games? Or am I getting confused? What did the paladin wreck?
Paladin wrecked, I don't remember, but it got wrecked by Zoo.
Okay, so I'm wrong. The paladin took a loss today. Let's look at these hands. So Detrucci with actually a really awkward, slow hand. We see the Sylvanas, which implies this might be a control paladin. Most of the mid-range lists don't play her. Encore has, on the other hand, a pretty good hand here. He's going to coin out one of his 2 drops. I would definitely throw the spiders out. It's pretty good at killing.
Mange just told it. We made him blush, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who are just joining us now, Mange earlier had the most brilliant play of all time. Not playing his Doom Hammer.
Yeah, it was a pretty incredible play. Anyway.
I think he just played that egg. Yeah.
Yeah. So the egg is just great. It's just great consecrate defense. It's a wonderful card to have out there. It also gives you great power, overwhelming synergy. He's just got. I think it's definitely the play here. I think he's a little worried about. I guess he doesn't want this ooze to do too much. So did that play. So that'll give him a trade on the use next turn, but it... Oh! Well, that makes sense. I guess that's fine. I think he might really be trying to play around Muster. And we see a Blessing of Kings.
Kings.
So this is a deck that was...
Reporting for duty.
This is a deck that absolutely was made by Jedi Ninja. I don't think he's here to defend himself, but yeah, like when you start seeing these highly tech cards and you play with the Paladin guy, you gotta guess. So Detrucci is going to go with the Shredder
I feel like
here.
Silver is the necessary. Play on that one. How do you feel?
I don't actually agree. I think this is fine. Like I think both are equally fine. I don't think there's like a really bad. They're both very good. The thing is, the concern is that like Zoo has so many buff cards. Like, you know, Abusive Sergeant would have absolutely punished that play.
Exactly.
Leaving, you know, so I do see the merit, but we can see Encore's hand, and he can't really punish it at all. In fact, it's pretty awkward for him.
I wouldn't say he can't punish it at all.
You think of the Defender?
I think the Implosion is fine. Yeah. I think even Power of Overwhelmings. Like, he is good for that's
oh. So the Detrucci just doesn't get a break here. That is really rough. Big Game Hunter is not a great... I was trying to get a good look. It's not that great. So we're probably see the Azure Drake here. It's just not much going on for him. He just needs to Drake for that Consecrate. And he doesn't get it. So the Sludge Belcher is okay. I think the Sylvanas is much better. We'll see. The Blessing of Kings is interesting. So the egg finally coming down. And this is going to be good. I think if Encore gets the egg down, it's going to be a great Consecrate play around. And he got the Abusive. So he can actually kill this Azure Drake very easily. I think I'd probably trade in 2 of my imps to get this Azure Drake off the board, and he is going to do that. Yeah. So...
Yikes.
That's a big board. And there's the Consecrate.
Hey, there it is.
And it's actually pretty terrible.
It sure is.
Because basically it'll remove 3 damage from the board, and it'll create 5 damage. So it's a net gain of 2 damage. So I think what you want to do here is you want to play the Sylvanas. That's what I would probably do, but Encore has the Owl. So that would be a little rough. Obviously, you just can't really play around it at this point. He does have a fair amount of health. The Belcher. What do you think, Dan? Belcher, True Silver.
I still like True Silver a while ago.
Yeah, I know.
Kill the gang boss. I think Sludge Belcher's okay here.
Yeah,
especially since he has the Consecrate.
Well, yeah, and we can see the Owl. Considering the Owl is in Encore's hand, I think the Belcher is probably the best play. Yeah, I mean, he has this Quartermaster, which is really unfortunate. He hasn't seen a Muster. He really hasn't seen any of his early game, which is tough. You know, Detrucci's trying to stick it out, and at some point, if he doesn't draw better, the scale is gonna start tipping. He does have the BGH for the Dr. Boom, which is gonna be a huge play next turn. So we're gonna see Encore. Looks like Juggler Argus here.
Let's see what he Argus is.
Oh, Powerball. Oh. That makes Okay, so that's removing some of the Consecrate.
Put this apple on your head.
Wow.
He Arguses those imps. That's gonna be.
Well, he can't Argus anymore. He actually can't do anything with it.
Right.
And it's an interesting line of play. It's gonna.
I mean, the Consecrate's still gonna leave a pretty full board. Not full, but there's gonna be 2 things there.
Yeah, I think that Juggler might scare. Oh, Mind Control Tech. So now, Mind Control Tech. You've got a. What is that? You got a 50-50 on a good minion. Mind Control Tech and Consecrate fits his curve perfectly. He got. I mean, not the worst, but certainly not the best. You could True Silver here, and I mean, leaving the juggler up is just so scary. Yeah, that's really.
I think I would choose over.
Yeah,
The consequence is just not worth it.
Yeah. If I had taken the oh, and he's gonna kill the juggler. Oh no, that might actually be the first one because now the juggler is gonna juggle it. Yep. The juggler is almost always and it kills. Oh man, he could not catch a break. So now Encore just has to clear this board up a little bit and throw Dr. Boom out. And funny enough, Detrucci's actually going to be able to board clear next turn. Yeah.
Yeah. Only if he takes it out with 4-1. Oh, I guess he has the weapon.
Oh, so Encore's not going to Dr. Boom. He's going to continue to keep this board big. And that's, I think he might just push for a lot of damage here then. My shield. This play would imply so.
I mean, he's got to be reading no consecration.
Well, the trade doesn't seem like it, though. He wouldn't have traded. This consecration's going to have to come down now. And the damage has really been done, though. Really, really been done. Actually, he might be... Oh, wow. I think we're going to see this flame in. So, Encore... It doesn't really matter, actually, because Encore just has him so low. I don't know why. Yeah, so he didn't see the Consecrate. That's the fine play. He didn't see it last turn. He probably didn't expect it. So now the Consecrate isn't going to be enough. That is game. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Detrucci really didn't catch a break. It looks like he had tech versus Zoo, and he just did not... he just did not draw into it.
Yeah. I think it could have gone a lot better if he had used a True Silver on 4 and maybe curved out into Sylvanas on 6.
Yeah. So Detrucci plays this turn perfectly, just pointing out his sequencing and stuff, and he's rewarded for it. He plays it perfectly, and there's only one card in the deck that could possibly kill him. And
hey, there it is.
Yep. So, Encore is probably just dandy, considering the fact that his Freeze Mage just lost their turn 4 Antonitis. he's probably not going to see stars for Detrucci. Detrucci had terrible luck, but it's probably just bouncing out for that insane unstable portal. They are, so now, let's see here. Encore jumps back in the lead with a 2-1.
2-1.
He just has the Freeze Mage left, and that's going to be extremely hard for Detrucci to overcome. This Paladin is doesn't look like it's too tech for the freeze match. It looks like it's more of an anti-aggro. Yeah. That mind control tech.
The resigned ignition from the design of the deck.
You kind of need to get an early quartermaster off to hope to apply enough pressure.
So you know it's freeze mage here. If I'm Detrucci, I keep a void caller and a doom guard. Actually, I would keep everything but a void caller.
I would just keep it all.
Yeah, I might keep that all.
I would. You can't keep 2 void callers. That's just.
Why?
Yeah. Well, because you only got 3 targets in the deck, and you're getting one of them, so you only have 2 remaining to draw into. This is gonna be, man. These explosive sheep. Look at this hand from Encore. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough uphill battle for Detrucci. He has a decent sticky hand, which is really good. The void caller is very intimidating for freeze mage. Encore, that scientist is the best 2-drop to have. He's got, this hand is so good for Encore. He's got the draw, he's got the sheep, he's got the heal, he's got the stall on the barrier. So this is really, really, really good. Encore is actually hoping that Detrucci doesn't trade here. And that way he can actually, well, actually it doesn't matter because he wants barriers over blocks.
Over the blocks, yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't play barrier and then hit because you want both barriers out. So he's hoping to get a barrier out of his mad scientist. So you want to hit and then draw. You never want to draw and then hit with a mad scientist. In case you, and he does that correctly. That's a fairly, oh no, he did that incorrectly, sorry.
Yeah.
And he could get punished, he doesn't. And the idea there is, like, for instance, if he drew into barrier, that would have given him a 0% chance to draw barrier, which he ended up getting. Anyway, so we got the barrier. And that's a big pickup. That is the one Encore wanted. You basically don't care about your ice blocks until later. You want the barriers out early, especially against an aggro deck. Detrucci is going to try to do his best to stick in it. He's got Imp Gang Boss. Wow, double heal bot. This is so brutal from Encore. So.
This, yeah, and this is second Arcane Elect already.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, this is
nice and full, and ET is gonna come down.
Oh,
and he's got the. Oh, wow! Wow! He is all set. The owl will help with the Doomsayer at least.
Yeah, the owl is actually a really, really good pickup. This is, I mean, this is like a dream for the Freeze Mage. It's a very favorable matchup. He's above 30 health on turn 5, and the board's just not that intimidating. The Void Caller is a little menacing for a Freeze Mage.
What to do?
But it's just.
Well, we know it's empty.
Right, it's just it's an empty threat. Although that as a Freeze Mage, he probably will be scared to pop that. So right here. If I'm on court, you really want to set up the Frost Nova Doomsayer into the ET, so you just kind of want to get that play out of the way. He can actually get severely punished by this play. I think he can get very hard milled. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. He could get milled like 2 cards here.
2 cards, yeah.
If Detrucci sees it, he doesn't see it. He's just going for the damage here. And actually, if he doesn't hit it at all, that'd be a really good play. And he doesn't. That's really smart because basically Encore doesn't want to draw. So now Encore has got to go for the Nova. And he does. The Nova Doomsayer. And this Owl is going to be good, but the Flame Strike's soon to come. So this is just stalling for the Flame Strike. Yeah. This is an interesting predicament, and Encore doesn't want to lose his Acolyte of Pain, so he's probably going to run it in, which is correct. He runs it in on the right feature. Alright, so we're probably going to see an Owl, and if I'm Detrucci here, you're going to want to tap for sure if you can. Oh, wow, so Void Caller isn't terrible. You want to make sure you get at least a demon off this Flame Strike. So Owl and Spiders seems fine. And tap, obviously. I guess tap first. Spiders. Oh wow, Doctor's pretty good. Actually, Detrucci's has done a good enough job with this board that he can really bounce back from this Flame Strike quite nicely.
He's got Cone of Colds as well. Interesting. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, Cone of Colds is not typically run. This is a very defensive Freeze Mage deck. I'm very curious as to what he cut. He had the Antonitis. I'm not really sure. I guess
he might not have a Pyro.
He might not have a Pyroblast. He might not have Elite Hoarders. He might not have. What else is? Wow, so he doesn't Flame Strike here.
I think he's starting to get a little worried about his life.
Wow, that's a really good pickup. He can't even play it, so this is actually kind of awkward for Detrucci. If I'm Detrucci, you just go face, and I think you're fine tapping. Yeah, that is a lot of life, and the double heal bot is insane. I've never ever seen a Freeze Mage list with double heal bot and double sheep. I don't really know what he cut. Maybe he doesn't have blizzards, or I don't know. I haven't seen a blizzard, but that'd be really strange to cut a blizzard. Alright, so it's kind of awkward. Detrucci can't fit anything on the board. I think he was considered powering overwhelming, and I think that would have been a fine play. So he's got a really nice hand, but it's not time to play. And he actually has to be really careful about tapping. I would probably maybe only tap one more time, because you're allowing the Freeze Mage to get within striking distance
Right.
And so Encore is definitely scared of this board. He has a Frost Nova, which is really big. He can get Frost Nova and heal bot if he wants. Flame Strike is actually not that great because if you Frost Nova, you freeze the board and he can't do anything, literally.
Right, but this is going to open up the and it's certainly not going to clear the board.
Right. It allows him to do a lot. So...
Oh, at least it was full, though, so the gang boss couldn't summon another guy.
Right. So I think we'll definitely just see a Dr. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Juggler Dr. Boom seems really good. And that's what he does. Although he's going to... Oh, no, he will have Perfect Boom. Okay, so again, he's filling up the board. And these juggles are all orange. Okay, so Encore is in a seemingly good position, but little does he know that... Or, I'm sorry, Detrucci thinks he's in a good position, but Encore has so many responses here. So he's going to
freeze the board.
Yeah,
but he's a little low on AoEs.
He is low on AoEs, but he's getting close to striking distance. This is actually a really good Emperor. It's okay Emperor, actually, I guess. It's fine. It's alright. Detrucci really can't do anything, and I would be really scared to tap if I'm Detrucci at this point.
Me too.
Seeing that Emperor come down and the fact that you can't taunt, so the Emperor is going to immediately take you. Oh, wow. Oh. Well, that's game.
Yep.
That is game. The burn wasn't there, but now he can just simply Archmage, Ice Block, double Ice Lance, and hit face, and have next turn lethal, I think. Or, yeah, right. Easily, yeah. Yeah. So, the Freeze Mage was, wow, he doesn't go for face.
Interesting.
I guess he's playing around Kazan. Maybe. Interesting play. Either way, it shouldn't matter. He's
got all those fireballs. And they're all about to be cheaper, so we can use all three next turn.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. He just has to make sure he hits face with the Emperor. And he does. That is effectively game. I don't know anything that could save Detrucci here. Even a Mal'Ganis can't... Oh yeah, he can get a Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis...
there's no demons on the board.
He has the Void Caller. Alright, so if I'm Detrucci here, you gotta act fast. You basically want to Power Overwhelming, clear his board. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is just so demoralizing. He has absolutely no chance unless he draws into Mal'Ganis. So he needs to tap. Mal'Ganis would, oddly enough, actually be a huge draw. Like, it would... not oddly enough, but it would actually put him in a decent spot.
Almost out of
so he pops the block, but it doesn't look like that's going to be enough. And he actually doesn't have the mana to tap from Mal'Ganis. Also, worth noting, he had a ton of demons in his hand. So it would have been really unlikely for Mal'Ganis to be drawn anyway. It would have been really like, not only tapping into him, you would have had to like play. It would have been really tricky. Anyway, the Freeze Mage with perfect draws, pretty much a great game. Well played by both, really. Detrucci, with some really bad luck on the Paladin game, drops 1 to 3. Encore able to grab the victory there for his Gosu Casuals. So the Gosu Casuals are hitting hard. Although I heard that Boom Boom Hall actually took down Slim 3-0.
What?
So, while Detrucci may have dropped, Boo Boo Hall is taking down one of the league powerhouses. In what
looks
I would
like
set.
Jingbutta and Lemur though both took down
their respective
their respective Hera General opponents.
Yeah. So that's a vicious battle. It looks like